at the Kia stores of Anniston, Oxford, with Coach Etheredge for the Coach Etheredge Show. Once again, been very good so far this season. A lot of positive feedback. Last week was no different. Coach, a couple of things I want to ask you right out of the bat. You had a very tough game going into last week with Etheredge. You ultimately ended up winning 42-14 in a game that kind of physical drug out. But before we get into that, let's get into what you guys got to work on in open week, how you got everybody healed up, and what that looked like coming out of the open week and up into the game till you played Etheredge.
Well, I mean, we had some guys out for some close contact stuff with COVID, but Etheredge's got a great team, man. I mean, Coach Osmond does a great job with those guys. I think that we got to work on a lot of different things. I think that, of course, we had everybody back this week, so we've had a great week of practice so far, and I think that that'll transition into the game. And I think that these kids understand that we've got one ultimate goal. We want to win the region championship, but then the ultimate goal is to win the state championship, and they're going to stay focused. And like the other night, if you think about it, we had over 500 yards of offense. Mm-hmm. We turned the ball over twice inside the 10-yard line, once on the 2. And that was probably me. I'll take full responsibility for that. We got in a big back set, and we was trying to get Brandon in the end zone. My boy Brandon Kurtz, he's a senior offensive lineman, and he does a phenomenal job for us. And I always try to do that with my offensive linemen, give them big fellas a chance to get in the end zone.
Let them take the mail.
That's right. They work so hard all year, and they deserve it. That's right. They deserve to see what it feels like being on the other end of it. To be honest. So but we we didn't punt one time. That's some pretty good stats, And we gave up on defense. We missed some tackles on 2 plays, and gave up probably 80 yards on those 2 plays, and we only gave up 133 total points. So, but it's not that we played bad. It's that people are so used to it being 35-0 at halftime or whatever,
That's right.
And it was, I want to say it was 28-14 or something like that at halftime, or 28-7 or 21-7, something like that. But it was a close game, at halftime, and that's a testament to Coach Osmond is that, they do a great job.
A couple of things. The first thing I was going to talk to you about is Coach Osmond's pregame speech he did to the radio station. I actually sat in the car and listened to that. A lot of times I'm on the go going to so many different games.
Right,
I got to listen. So I actually heard Coach Osmond, and one thing Coach Osmond said, he said, look, when you are coaching a program and you want to judge yourselves, you play teams like Oxford. Right. He said they're on top of the mountain right now, and you want to see how good you are, you play teams, schedule teams, play teams like Oxford. And he said, look, here's the deal. These are the opportunities that you judge yourself on. This is what kind of benchmark you are. And what does that mean to you personally to knowing your state champs and carry that kind of weight, and somebody like Coach Osmond to say such high praise of you guys and your staff?
Well, we're going to get everybody's best. I truly believe that. I believe that, with that, we have to be prepared for it. It's like I said, when I started coaching, my first year in coaching, we played 2 ball games, played a ranked team, and beat that ranked team. So we won our first 2 ball games. And, I think Leezy won in 3 years, 5 games. So we had already won them first 2 ball games. But the next game we had to play was Clay.
With Danny Horn?
With Danny Horn, yeah. So we went up to Clay and got beat about 50-6. Yeah. And I'm looking for players, and they're hiding behind other players. Yeah. So, but and I told our kids after that game, I said, look, this is the level we want to get to. So for us to get to this level, we got to get a lot better. Mm-hmm. I said, yeah, y'all feel great because y'all won those first 2 games, and that's awesome. But if you want to win state championships, you got to get to this level.
Absolutely.
And 2 years, 3 years later, we're beating.
You got to that
We're
level.
beating those teams. Yeah, we're beating Clay, and we're competing with teams like that at night in and night out. So yeah, and it was, that's. You get a chance to play a team that's on the top of the mountain, like Coach Osmond said. You give your kids an opportunity to make memories that they're going to have for the rest of their lives.
That's awesome. And in a game like that, like you said, sometimes fans kind of get the misconception of we didn't play good or whatever, but
yeah.
Well, talk about the coachable moments in a game like you had last Friday night.
A bunch of coachable moments. We made a lot of mistakes. We made some mistakes, and that gives you an opportunity for your kids to correct those mistakes, and it gives your coaches on staff a chance to go in, make adjustments, and come back out and see, if those kids are responding to those coachable moments. That's why we play. During our non-region games, we play Thompson, we play Pleasant Grove, we play Central and Phoenix City. So, because we want to be talked about as one of the top teams in the state of Alabama.
You look at a non-region schedule, and you got two basically top 5, 7, 8 teams, and the top team 5A. Yeah. That's it's not hiding from nobody.
And then we're playing Gaston City too.
Gaston City too, exactly. Who's a budget proof of that.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt. So, all right, going into this week's game, you got Springville coming up. Springville, they've been up and down. They have some athletes.
Quarterback's real good.
They got some guys that you got to pay attention to.
Absolutely.
Talk about what you've seen from Springville, like some of the
big
things
tight end. They got a big tight end who's real good. And they're salty. They got some good players. I think that they're a team that can give us some matchup problems. I'm glad to have everybody back this week. Glad that everybody's.
Have you had a full roster this year for a game?
I think we were about full roster.
Around Southside, maybe.
Yeah, I think the Southside game, a couple games right there, and then 5 plays in the Southside game, we lose. R.J. Taylor to a ACL, but we had Jabri Ford back, so it's one of them things where that was about as close. Those first 5 plays of that game was about as close as we get.
Ain't that crazy? Who would ever think that? Because sometimes some teams go through the whole season with 0 injuries, and then
I've been lucky like that before. I had whole seasons with
nobody.
Yeah,
and then I remember even the Thompson game, you had. Ford was out. Had another guy with the Q-tip hand.
Yeah,
and another guy.
And then Rock pulls is growing.
That's right.
Going in the second half.
Yeah, he don't even. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And, Chanston gets a little banged up first half and don't play the second half. So we're it's one of those things where we're going to get better and better.
That was week 0, so you think, man, we're going to have it fully loaded.
Yeah,
no, not necessarily.
Yeah, and that's the way football is. That's the way high school football is. You got to play the guys that you have. Somebody goes down, it's the next guy up.
Absolutely, man.
It's like that in college too.
100%.
With everything going on right now, I'm just glad these kids are getting an opportunity to play.
You ain't lying, especially when you look at the next level. When I'm a Gator fan, we're completely shut down this week.
Right.
And I don't know if you've seen it. Coach Saban's got.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah. So when it's hitting people like that, you're like. Golly, it's amazing that we're getting to play.
And it's real. We've had kids get it. We've had
the beautiful part about it is the way you guys have handled it. And I'm talking about you guys when I say coaches from all over. Every school I go in, we cover up 25 schools, but just coaches in general that's come together, communication-wise.
Right.
Talk about what we need to do, social distancing, wearing your mask, washing your hands. It's been amazing. Honestly, I'm just being honest here. I honestly thought we'd play a week or 2 and they'd shut it down. I did.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people thought
did.
that.
A lot of people
and I was going to be depressed about it, but I'm always the glass half full guy. But if somebody would have said, "Hey, brother, you better tell me the truth," I would be like, I honestly, hand before God, would have said we'd probably play 2 weeks.
Yeah,
like you said,
a lot of people thought that. And like I said, we're sitting here with week 8. So it's been great. Our kids have been great. And I just, like I said, this is a great group of kids that we have.
Oh, you got to believe it. Special group, and I know you're looking forward to this Springville game. But Coach, but before we shut this one down, overall, your team to this point in the season. I know we've mentioned this, but I always like to reiterate it. Talk about just the overall team. If you had to grade it, where they're at right now at this point in the season.
I think that I give us a B plus, A minus. There's always room for improvement.
They're in the ballpark.
There's always room for improvement. You don't want to, you definitely don't want to say we're A plus
Oh,
because
yeah.
we still have room for improvement. But I think that our kids have really responded. They've done a great job of doing what their coach did and get better every single week.
I honestly think they've done a tremendous job of staying focused, staying task at hand, because it's hard to coach against success sometimes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes they'll start reading the papers and the news clippings, and we got a 4-star here and a 5-star here, and they start thinking, well, I ain't got to practice if I'm right.
Yeah, and that's the thing with our kids. They're and I talk about this with them all the time. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now.
100%.
With the way we got an election coming up, so you got people on each side of that. You got the rioting. You got a lot of white people acting like jerks. A lot of black people acting.
100%.
So we try to focus on what we have inside our locker room.
There you go.
Put ourselves in a bubble.
There you go.
And just sort of take care of each other. And my kids, I'm going to support my kids. I tell my kids all the time. I said, look, I want to teach you. I want you to think on your own. I'm not going to tell you what to think,
right.
But I want you to think. I want you to use your mind and think. And I'm not going to give you my political views, my views on anything.
100%.
I want you to be passionate about what you're doing. I want you to be passionate about what you're thinking about. And you believe, and do it in a positive way.
100%.
Do it in a positive way. And if there's something that you don't agree with, do it. Go about it in a positive way.
That's
and
right.
Make a change and do whatever. Do what's right. Do what's right. And our kids are focused on doing what's right with this football team and making a run for another state championship.
I think everybody needs to sit down. The world needs to sit down and watch Remember the Titans.
Yeah,
it's
a great movie.
It's
a great movie, and people, and this is the thing: when outside sources gets involved inside
100%.
your program, it does not work. It does not work because they don't have the same goals
100%.
as you have, as these kids have, and it hurts the kids.
100%.
It can hurt the kids in that process.
Something else you said that I really picked up on is don't be negative. No situation's ever got better by somebody coming in with a negative attitude.
Absolutely.
Ever.
You got to be positive, especially with kids, man.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
if you don't love kids and you're coaching, you're in the wrong profession. Get out. So I think and there's time that you have to discipline, but do it with love.
That's right.
Do it so they know you care about them.
That's right.
So I said 1,000 times that kid don't care what you know until they know that you care.
100%. And I'm gonna be honest with you, they remember the disciplinary stuff more than they're going to remember just bowing down to them.
Absolutely.
Any day of the week.
Absolutely.
And definitely remember when you put them on a platform like this team has been to win state championships, be in the news and the media every week. This, to me, they're going to remember that till they've been put in a pine box.
That's right. And we have guys that handle success well. We've had guys that handle success well. You got guys like Trey Higgins, Rodriguez Elson, who's came in and had a lot of success. Traquan Fagans just got invited to play in the Under Armour game. He's a phenom. He's a great kid too. Delvon Fagans. You got guys like Brandon Kirksey, Rock Taylor. Rock Taylor's had all kinds of publicity from everywhere. Braden Joyner, absolutely. Young guy who's getting a lot of looks and stuff. We got a lot of kids, and you can have a lot of kids who are great football players that some people may not know about yet because they're all these other guys who are older than them that's there. But the next group you're going to hear about are the Jordan Dobbinses, the BJ Elstons, those guys. So those guys are coming up too. So it's the Kevin TTs, Keyshawn Siosi. Some of those kids are coming up, and they're going to be great football players. And I'm excited, and I think that we got a good thing going.
Absolutely. Got to keep it going. Keep that Remember the Titans locker room going. Well, Coach, we've talked each other's heads off. I know you're a busy man. We're about to shut this down, and coming very soon, Friday Night Wives, Oxford Coaches Wives edition. You guys will be able to check that out as well. So from the Kia store of Anniston, Oxford, the Coach Etheredge Show, we are out.
There we go.